Okay, so we're right into another Dragon Ball Super card game video, and this time around is another top 10. This one is for the set 5. I've done previous videos, I've done all the other sets, all the theme boosters. Please go check that out. But this time, it's going to be different, because this one has a special guest, and that special guest is not only, wow, let me talk normally today. Not only the only one, the Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle Master, but also a very good DBS player, Dfree. What's going on?
It's not over, man.
It's not. It is not.
Nothing much. Thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure. Let's talk some Dragon Ball.
Definitely. So, we're gonna go right into the top 10. Basically, these are all staples for set 5, and anything that you're actually thinking of, or if you're thinking of buying set 5, you want to buy singles, these are probably the ones you're gonna be looking at. And yes, I know when people think of different cards for staples, it really just means like for any deck, but some of these are going to be kind of for certain decks and then for every other deck. So as you can see, I have a number of different cards here, and the first ones we're going to go through are the ones that are for every single color. So for instance, is going to be the super combo. So this one is the Temporal Rescue Trunks. Just like every other color, they all have this new 0 cost and 10k power, along with a Sparking 5, and then you can draw a card if your leader card is XY. Same thing for less. And this is very, very important because literally all the super combos kind of got power crept. I don't know, but
heavily power crept. Like there's pretty much no reason to play the other combos anymore unless you just want to, because even though that they're doing this, you know, you might say, well, Sparking 5 isn't conducive to Overwhelm if you play Overwhelm cards, which there are a lot of good ones. They even have the other versions where, you know, you still play. I don't know if Black has a second one, do they?
I think
it's
so.
a Bulma, right? I think something like that. I don't know. But they have the other ones where you can still have the innate 10k boost, and I think it's 4 or less still.
Yeah.
So there's no reason, because you always have the 10k, which is good early game because you can at least use the card even if you don't get the draw.
Yeah, just like the Kai super combo, the Black Overrun combo.
Yeah,
you can use it.
They're live early.
Too. Yeah.
The
only other reason why I will mention real quick is tutoring and searching. So, for instance, if you wanted to, like
Grand Tour into Giru.
Yeah, to Giru, or like a top 7 searcher, or like World Tournament. That's very, very, very important as far as that goes. And as well as like for this one, I will mention that this guy is a Saiyan, so you can play in a Vegeta if you're playing yellow and black. I mean, if that's your thing. So yeah, very, very important that you do pick up all the new super combos, because they're going to be very useful in any deck. Going to the other 4 color type things, this one is the Deadly Defender Android 18. If we take a look at that card, and as well as all the other ones real quick, if I just type in Deadly,
they're all the same, just different.
Yeah, pretty much every single color has one. If you didn't know what they did already, it says it has barrier, has 20k, so when it swings, it has 20. But on their turn, and they're called, if your leader card is X or Y, it gets negative 5,000 power, so basically 15k on their turn, and can attack your leader card. So
yeah, they're basically Vegito, but a little bit different. There's no draw, there's no innate 20k on the opposing turn, you know, and so they're a little bit easier to get over, but the trade-off is they always have barrier, so even if they're inactive, you know, you can't deal with them like you can with a Vegito if for whatever reason he's inactive. And there's also you know, the cheaper cost, you play him a turn sooner, whereas Vegito really wants to be played on turn 5 anyway.
Right.
So
Exactly. This one can be turn 3 if you really wanted to, in correlation with all of the, which I don't know. Yeah, I do have them. Like the stuff with Dimension Magic, you can go ahead and tap out, still have Sparking 5, and then go ahead and use the counter if you needed to.
For real.
But that's just super strong in the first place. But the other thing I do want to mention is Android 18, which is why she's on the list, is that on the 17 and 18 Android leaders, she's a 25,000 at 4 or less, and then 20,000.
So she's the only one that's 20 at all times. Yeah,
it's
nice because she's also another 18, which we haven't gotten a lot of those.
Exactly. I'm very, very, very happy about that. She's a 2-drop. Ugh, who thought about that?
Yeah, she specifically is like the best one because of the scenario that she can be put to. For me, though, I think that like it's really interesting that we get those, because it allows for a little bit more mono in my opinion, because you don't have to like splash to get that type of effect from a Vegito or things like that, because he was the only one that really had that initially. There was Bergamo, but a little bit different. And also there's this whole element now that blue has where it's like you can drop the Vegeta, then the following turn drop the Vegito, and you can just have like all these. You basically have 8 copies in your deck. You can have Dimension Magic. You can just set up a wall, you know? Yeah. So, and every deck can do it. So I'm loving that idea too.
Yeah. No, I 100% love that. And it does slow down the game, right? It does give a lot of decks different options and just some goodness to just like not die early, because that was really annoying.
Oh yeah, you don't like dying on turn 2, huh?
No, I don't.
The swap deck.
No, I don't.
That regional we went to, that was my first time. I think that was that deck's debut actually, and I went up against that deck. I was like, "There's like no deck here that's going to beat this deck."
The blue yellow Huracan.
The blue yellow, yeah. I think that was that deck's debut.
Yeah, that was nasty.
Yeah, I was like, I've never seen this, and there's no one here that's beating it.
I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm glad Hercule's around. I'm glad that we have these cards, and we're
now it's a little easier. So.
As we go into the next one, this one I put up Dimension Magic, but we'll go through all the colors real quick. Basically, every single color has a counter in which you can have a Sparking 5, which is 5 in your drop, and then you can use it to take a life and counter the attack and still get the effect. So for this one, if your leader card is black, you can choose up to 1 black card from your drop or warp area with energy cost of 1. And we're going to mention the stuff like Kami and the Dende and other 1-drops, especially Announcer. If you play that bad boy in Announcer,
the Mass Sand, or not the Black Mass Sand 1-drop.
Yep, the Black Mass Sand. I did so much work to put up all these. Okay, there you go. So here's some examples. There you go. Here's some examples. But yeah, that's very nifty. The Dimension Magic on taps 2. The Shocking Death Ball KOs 2 or less, which pretty much replaces full power. I already went to Dimension Magic. This one, actually, this is a busted ass card.
Disgusting.
That's a busted ass card. Yeah, so this one
plus 40 to you, minus 10. Yeah.
Yes, the only thing that doesn't make it super busted is that you get the plus 40 for the battle. So
yeah, but the opponent loses 10 for the turn.
Yes, which is stupid, because if you have 2 of these and they have a 20k drop or whatever card on the field with 20k, you just KO'd it.
It's also stupid if they're doing things like dual attacking or whatever. It's dumb. That's really hard to deal with. That's a really good card, especially when you can play it for free.
Oh yeah, and also with Baby, like now that I think about it, if you're
playing
playing Baby
big time, his whole archetype is like that. You do that, you revenge Death Ball as well. That thing's gone.
Yeah, just let's not talk about revenge Death Ball anymore. After that one time we played, let's just let's not
don't worry. I encountered a couple of them yesterday. It was like, this is hell, bro.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Time Magic is the yellow counter in which it chooses a rest mode, ignoring barrier, and then it can't switch to active. How do you feel about this card, actually?
I think that's really good against a lot of things, but not good against some things. Okay. Example, the 3 jobs we talked about. This isn't good against them, which I guess, because they don't really care. All that really does is stop their swing, but fine. Yeah. Their effect is still alive.
Yeah.
But against other threats, for example, like the Dragon Fist Goku, forcing him to stay in rest mode is generating a lot of he generates a lot of advantage on your turn, especially because he has barrier. He can stay out there. It's a good card.
Yeah,
there's a lot of really good barrier threats out there, and they literally can't do anything.
Right.
As soon as they swing at you.
I think so. And one other thing that I was thinking about is that the Hope of the Universe 8 or Hope of the Universe 7.
Yeah, because he wants to keep going.
Yeah, as soon as you attack, you just go ahead and put this bad boy and make sure he doesn't switch to active mode, and now they can't do Victory Strike for a whole 2 turns, basically. So that's really good. That's really strong. And I think that's pretty much all of them. I'm pretty sure. So,
yeah, I will say the black one to me, it says from your warp as well, but let's be honest, they're trying to kill warp here because everything wants to be sparking. So
going to set 5, a lot of overwhelm cards aren't going to really see too much play, and if it is, it's probably going to be Demigra because we do have so many black cards, and the wish leaders get it automatically. So interesting. So yeah, the last thing is going to be the Kami. As far as for universal effects. For this guy, you play the card and you draw one as a black colorless card, so you can just use any energy
with deflect.
With deflect, so that's stupid. And of course, the activate main, if your opponent has 4 more battle cards in play, just like the new draft box Goku, choose all of yours, very important, and as well as the opponent's battle cards with 4 or less enduring barrier and KO them.
This card is so good. Like if you were in a scenario where you are just behind in the game, for example, like I was just saying, like a mono blue example, they've got a couple of Vegetos and a couple of Vegetas out there, and that's just too much for you to deal with. You have no threats on the board. You just drop this Kami, pay 2 energy, draw a card, by the way, it replaces itself, and then you just get all that off the board.
Mm-hmm.
This is really good.
Yeah, super effective against like Soul Striker, green blue.
Oh yeah, if you're up I didn't even want to mention green blue, but if you're up against green blue, because they like to put everything out there and just leave it. The Anilazas, the Piccolos, the Vegetos, whatever, they're just dropping stuff and leaving it and punishing you. This card gets all of that out, so This is really good.
All right. I mean,
like I can't see this not at least being cited in most scenarios.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there are other answer cards that are black as well, like the what was it called? Obviously the Cronoa. The Dende, right? Which isn't too relevant.
I was going to say, I don't think he's going to be as relevant because Goku's not coming back.
Yeah. The only thing I can really see of is maybe like Universe 7 and Frieza, but like that's only good as
still a deflect draw one. Dude, Black all of a sudden has a lot of draw one cards now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, any of these cards, Cronoa, etc., all draw you 1 card, so I mean that's not that big of a deal. Dark Pyro Massane, which I'm going to talk through in a second, but all of these are very, very useful. That's all I can really say. And I think even through Dende, one thing to really remember on that is that you can keep doing this every single turn as long as he's on there. So if they objection and it says during the game, you can keep Frieza at 4 or less energy basically without getting to Victory Strike. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for SS3, that was a really detrimental thing. But if you catch Frieza objectioning, it's going to be pretty detrimental if you have that.
Yeah, Frieza's forced to wait the full 5.
Mm-hmm. Moving on, so Crisis Crusher, Son Goku. This is the new BCC card for this. If it says if you have no battle cards in your battle area, it gets reduced in your hand by 2. So it's a 1-drop effectively, and then they can attack with battle cards for the cost of 1. And his active name, which I always forget, which is always annoying.
Once per turn.
It's once per turn. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 1 and KO it. So
the only way this card was any more broken is if they gave him barrier. He just gets to sit out there and just pop stuff.
Oh my god, I would hate my life. I would hate my life. So
he effectively turns off every self-awakener 1-drop too.
Yeah, I think so, and that's just crazy. I think that's just wild. But this is really good. This is a really good answer to aggro decks like Trunks and Hurigan and Massane, which is kind of a bummer, but oh well. The one thing I will say is that he's easily removed, not only with really any kind of removal, even though he's a 3 cost, but the other part is Platinum 2. So if you're playing aggro going into set 5, definitely play Platinum 2 because it'll get rid of a lot of different threats like that.
Or play Baby.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, there you go.
Baby just pops them.
That's it. That's the answer. That's just play Baby. Just play a Baby aggro. Yeah, so that's really good. Really good that it's a BCC promo, so everybody can get it for free. And then Infernal Villainy Cell. So this is the quote-unquote Unbreakable for green. So Oob now has 16 super combos. Let's just talk about that for a second.
He really does.
He's a critical 20,000, and he is a Union Absorb target, and that's it. I mean,
it's just, you want to talk about Oob? Hercule now has 12 draw 2 super combo.
This one. So Union Absorb, and then choose 1 cell from your hand or drop and place it onto the card, and then get into the new Super 17 SR. For the Unbreakable Cell, you basically just combo at any time, have it in drop area, and then use that on Union Absorb. I think that's super nifty.
Yeah, and that card's just gonna just be splashing decks like Unbreakable. I mean, why not?
Yep, exactly. I mean, it's a green energy, which like whatever, but I mean, you're not gonna be charging it anytime soon.
Yeah,
you're just gonna...
Nobody really charges Unbreakable, so why not?
Yeah.
unless you want the red. But yeah,
exactly. What else? What else? So we have the Spirited Search Super Saiyan Trunks, one that I was mentioning earlier as well. So this one is a 15k 2-drop, which is interesting with all the effects that he has. He's an activate main. Once per turn, when your life is at 4 or less, you choose one green or black desire card from your drop area and add it to your hand. And then when you play this card, if your life is at 5 or more, you choose 2 from Dragon Ball cards in your deck and then place in the drop area. So this is actually a really, really good card. I don't really see too much discussion about it. I think a couple channels actually talked about it, but just these effects are just really useful. And even if he's a 2 green 2-drop, you could play Child's Wish as well, or even using the 4-drop Shenron to get him out, and then just keep getting your desire cards out. As well as that. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just wild. How do you feel about this?
This guy's great. I think that, I mean, I'm just like, when you look at it, like, there's 2 effects on him. Like, most cards only have that first half or the bottom half, but this man's doing a lot. He puts in a lot of work for only 2 energy. So all good in my book. Especially, isn't there a pan that digs him out too, if you wanted to do it that way?
Yeah. So he has the Spirited Search pan. So this one's activate main. You place this card in the drop area and choose 1 green Super Saiyan Son Goku, which is
you
the
just
vanilla.
Do it.
Yeah, or the Trunks, and then play it. So you get a swing from her for 10k, and then you can swing with him or just use the effect, which is still pretty good.
Pretty nifty combo. Also, there. I mean, if you want to play red green GT for some reason, you have the spaceship.
Yeah. So. Oh, yeah. That's another. Yeah. Okay. There you go. I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah, you just bring them out.
Pretty good. And then lastly is the Gogeta. Well, second to last, the Gogeta, in which this is a crazy card, just for one.
This card is disgusting.
He's a 25,000 5-drop for double strike, and then Union Fusion, so you have to have them in your hand, not on the battlefield, with the same power, by the way, which is good for balancing, especially for the effect and the card itself, for Son Goku and Vegeta. And then Sparking 5, you have to have 5 in your drop. You play this card, draw 2 cards, and then choose 2 battle cards on there, and then place them at the bottom of the deck. That is just stupid.
For me, like, I never was a huge fan of the Universe 7 Beerus. I know why he's good, I just never was a huge fan. But like for me, like, I would just play 4 of these and just play one after another, and just, that's insane pressure.
Yeah.
If you can't even if you deal with it, the thing is, value. Like, even if you deal with it, I still got the auto off, and I still probably got a double strike swing. So even if you destroy it, you're still behind. You know, and then I play another one, and it's like, what do you do?
And if you want to be real cheeky, you can always play World Peace to bring it back out. You can always play.
God, don't do that.
If they somehow have three threats on their board, you can play Rebirth of Justice and remove 1 and put it back to their hand, and then remove the other 2 and put it back in the bottom of the deck. So you can do a lot of stuff. And
this card's good, and also he doesn't have any power restriction. He just gets anything out, assuming it doesn't have barrier.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't have barrier, that's all good. And to be really effective, of course, to play 4 energy, you're gonna have to have those 2 Gokus and Vegetas, which, you know, could be kind of a problem as far as deck.
You just hard cast him.
Whatever. Oh, okay.
You know, like remember when I was testing him? You just hard cast him. Screw the Union. It's 1 energy cheaper, whatever.
That's what we're doing today, huh? Okay.
He's a 5-drop. You know how he's so good. The reason why he's so good too is the power creep from the previous blue deck. Oh, hey, Prince of Speed, 20k, double strike, 5-drop, draw 2, evolve for 4. All of a sudden, 5-drop, 25, draw 2, bounce 2.
Yeah, there's some real power creep going on. I really don't see why you wouldn't be playing this over the Prince of Speed if you were playing Prince of Speed in like mono blue or something.
Yeah, you just switch Prince out. There's no reason not to.
And
he was good. Prince was really good, especially to rip off the Zeno. So this is going to be equally good.
Yeah, even if you tap out, it's not gonna be that big of a deal because now Zeno button,
Dimension Magic,
Zeno button, Dimension Magic, other stupid stuff like that is interesting. Of course, the Vegeta that you can Union Fusion with this man, or for this man, you can untap 1 as well. So this set, I don't know what to say. And of course, lastly is the Dragon Radar. So this one is a activate main, choose 1, and then look at the top 7 of your deck and choose 2 Dragon Ball or Desire cards and add it to your hand. And then The other part is that you can choose up to 2 Dragon Ball Desire cards from your drop and add it to your hand. So
disgusting.
It's like, I don't know, like all these cards are super good because they have so many different effects, and they're right in their costs. Like this being a 1-drop is stupid. Not only colorless, so like you can play whatever color you want and still play that bad boy. I don't know.
Imagine if it was a 0 cost. Oh my goodness.
Oh my, no, we're good. We're good.
But yeah, I think it sums it up right. I mean, look at this list. I mean, look at the text these cards have. They have so many things they're doing. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mention the 2-star Dragon Ball. I don't think. Maybe, I don't know. I missed it. But it is a choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 2 or less and KO it. I only put this one in here because it is a Dragon Ball which you can have 7 of them. I don't know if you want to, but it is a colorless 1-drop in which removes something for pretty cheap, and any deck can play it. It does not restrict to Shenron. So that's just something to watch out for. And
it's just a nice extra card, really.
Yeah, pretty much. If you don't have like quick removal, I think that's pretty good early game. That's pretty much it.